Hey everyone, what's the crack? Today is the day I get to share my feelings about the ASETEK Invicta pedals with you guys. We're going to go for a drive. Let's do this. So this is not a review in my traditional style. The reason for that is, as you can see in the background, I review a lot of pedals, and I feel that every pedal set needs the same amount of time, and it wouldn't be fair for me to cut one short just to get the next one done. So think of this today as a mini review. We're going to concentrate on the driving experience only, and I'm going to take you on a tour of various sims and talk to you about these pedals as we go along. So here we are in my beloved Assetto Corsa. I love using Assetto Corsa for stuff like this. I love it for force feedback. I love it for testing pedals. One of the main reasons I love it for testing pedals is because you get a massive range of tracks. Like, most of you will never have seen this track, and to avoid me having to answer it in the comments below lots of times, this track is called Alastaro. Some of you will know it. I do believe it's a real life track. But yeah, one of the reasons I use Assetto Corsa is because in the game natively you already have a massive range of H-Pattern cars, but you can also download whatever you like. So if you feel like doing a hill climb or whatever, you know, this is the one for you. And I think that this type of pedals really lends itself to the prosumer market. And the prosumer market is kind of not just the casual sim racer. I think that it's very much for the people who want to use this as a training tool. So in Assetto Corsa, it's a great training tool for, you know, certain touring cars, or, you know, modified classes that you may not have in the more mainstream sim titles. So yeah, Assetto Corsa is just a fantastic one to do that testing on. I've not driven this track and car combo, but as you can see, it's super intuitive. I have had obviously some time with these pedals, and they feel just very good, lovely and sensitive. So they've got all the right, you know, the right movements the movements are very, very predictable. I have a lot of faith in the pedals, which I guess is one of the main things that you want. As I slide it through that corner there, you can have a lot of confidence. These pedals, of course, have a custom hydraulic system. They use a pressure sensor, not a load cell sensor. So some other hydraulic pedal systems that we would have seen in the past, they use a load cell on the side. This uses a pressure sensor. So that's kind of interesting. From a practical point of view, I don't actually notice any difference. I can tell you though that the brake is extremely confident. If you hear any creaking, it's from my rig, because I have an issue with, I have a seat rail from a real car in this, and it's just creaking a little bit. The pedals are, I mean, virtually silent. I definitely can't hear them over my headphones. I can hear that creaking over the headphone, but the pedals are lovely and quiet. The issue that people said about, you know, the bump stops and stuff like that, honestly, I have not noticed it at all in all of my testing on these. So that's not, as I go into the gravel, that's not really an issue for me. So I think that one can be put to bed. That was one of the negatives that a lot of people were asking about. The adjustability of the pedals left to right, you can't adjust them, so you can't adjust the gap between them. Again, not an issue. This is pretty much the way I set up all my pedals anyway. And yeah, it's set up perfectly for heel toe, so if I want to go through this corner at maximum attack, you can tell as I come up to this hairpin as well, braking is super confident on that heel toe. It's a riot to drive. I love the positions of the pedals. It all feels extremely good. Definitely as far as the Assetto Corsa is concerned, they're pretty perfect and about as much as you could want from any pedal set. So, given my background and my experience, it would be rude to leave a Assetto Corsa without a bit of clutch kicking and a bit of drifting. We're in an S13. It's a Nissan Silvia, like my road car, except this one has a bit of a dirty engine swap. Listen to this. Listen to that. absolutely perfect. Yeah, the pedals are just super confident. Obviously, again, this isn't my first time drifting with these. It's just, it's a very pleasant experience. There's no rattling, there's just no nonsense. It actually feels, you know, like a very, I don't know, genuine experience. The throttle is a little bit light in its default configuration. Again, I'm happy enough with it, so I haven't changed it yet. Before my full review, I will be seeing, you know, what adjustability there is and stuff. That sounds absolutely brutal. I'm pretty sure that's like an LSV8. Kicking the crap out of the clutch. Yeah, it just feels really good for drifting. Very, very nice. So that's enough drifting for now. We're in ACC, which is far closer to the bread and butter of why these pedals were actually developed in the first place. You see, ASETEK makes cooling components for PCs, and they deliver to the likes of Dell and Alienware and lots of very, very high dependence or applications that require extreme amounts of quality, as in, you know, 5.9's quality, 10.9's quality. It needs to be super, super high quality. So stuff that's tested millions and millions of times. Now, the thing is, ASETEK, as they were trying to, I guess, train on simulators for their real-life GT3 car, they kind of realized that stuff was breaking, stuff was difficult to set up, and eventually they kind of felt enough is enough and they could do better themselves. So that's where this project came from, and they probably just realized at some stage that, hang on a second, we know what we're doing here and we can make these and people will want these. So we're at that point now. I mean, it was about 6 months ago that we heard about these pedals for the first time. I was lucky enough to see them at the Sim Racing Expo, but ever since that interview that Will Ford did with the CEO Andre of ASETEK, it really got me excited for, you know, it's the first time I think that we have a racing background with a proven hardware background coming together to make this sim racing. I mean, it's ASETEK SimSports, that's the company that makes these, and to have the confidence that yes, your pedals are set up right, yes, they're high quality, stuff is meant to be, you know, extremely durable and extremely like the real thing. So you can almost have a lot of confidence that, well, the weight of this throttle is probably very similar to their real life throttle. The weight of this brake is probably more than sufficient for the drivers who are actually using this to train. They, of course, they're also going to come out with a huge ecosystem of various products. Like, they're going to be coming out with more than one set of pedals. This is the flagship set, but they're actually going to make more scaled down versions of this as well, maybe without hydraulics and stuff like that. But it's super, super exciting that that's coming from, I guess, the right place. It's coming from a place that's well motivated. ASETEK is going to make far, far more money in the PC cooling market than it ever would in sim racing, but they need it themselves and they feel that sim racing needs it. And I think that companies like that are needed to bring sim racing to the next level. And yeah, these pedals just, they really do feel great. I think there's that added level of confidence that, you know, that they don't come from a real car, but they are properly designed to simulate a real car. I don't know, it kind of makes me a little bit excited. Now, that said, they don't feel vastly different to a lot of other pedals that I've used. They feel great, the clutch feels great, brake feels great, all that, the setup of them is great. I think that they have pretty much nailed it, to be honest. I think that they've done an exceptional job, and I don't know if I would ever need another set of pedals. The things that it's lacking in adjustability and stuff like that, I don't actually feel like I need that adjustability. I don't think it's necessary. So yeah, I'm super happy. And in GT3, I'm having trouble hearing you. So moving on to this SCCA spec Ford Racer in iRacing. This thing is an absolute howl of a car to drive. Very easy to lock up the brakes. Maybe not when you're going that slowly, but very easy to lock up the brakes. So the brakes are super sensitive in this. So is the throttle. So as you're going around these corners, it has relatively high aero for the size of it. And it just, yeah, it's not a super fast car or whatever, but the racing, the way they go through the corners is, yeah, it's very fun. So on the left hand side of the screen, you can see my pedal inputs, as with some of the other sims as well. And you can see how much you know, brake modulation, stuff like that I'm doing. It's very confidence inspiring. It's very consistent. It's quite easy to understand these pedals, and there are no sims that I've tried that it hasn't been a consistent experience across the various sims. So the calibration and all that of these pedals is just very, very well done. And the ASETEK software is really good. Again, I'm going to go into a lot more detail on all of those in my full review, which is coming out in a few weeks. I usually do long-term reviews because I want to depend on this hardware for all my live streams, for all my league races, stuff like that. So, but yeah, iRacing, any of you who are looking to use this in iRacing, it's a fantastic piece of kit. No compatibility issues whatsoever. Like, especially if you don't already have a set of pedals like this, I meant to spin. Especially if you don't already have a set of pedals like this, this is an incredible upgrade. You probably will never need to upgrade again, to be honest. We'll see if I still feel that way when the full review launches, but yeah, really liking these. So here we are in the Lancia Delta in Greece. One thing immediately of note if you're using this in Dirt Rally 2 is that you're gonna have to tune your pedals somewhat, because out of the box, as you can see in the preview, out of the box there's very little throttle low down. It's all at the end. So let me just go into neutral here, so you can see there's actually nothing happening with my throttle until like the last 10%. So you can tune that out, and if anybody wants to know how to do that, have a look in my Discord, and you can message me in my Discord, and I'll let you know. For H-Pattern cars like this, again, it's very, very intuitive. It's nice to have that ability to do heel toe and clutch kicks. It's just very, very confident. The pedals are, as I said, I know I've said it a couple of times, the pedals are in the right positions, and they just feel, you know, intuitive, and you feel like you have a great sense of control over the car, which is just, yeah, it's nice. It's what you want, especially when you're throwing a car around at these kind of speeds. So a lot of people in my Discord are into rally, and they wanted to know, you know, would it be worth getting a good pedal set for rally? And it's totally worth it. Just for the confidence and just being able to remember, you know, where, oh god, that was wide, where, you know, your positions are for your feet, for your pedals, and just being able to remember. Sorry, now it's very difficult to explain about these pedals while I'm driving. Whew, that was halfway through the stage already. That happens fast. Yeah, excellent in dirt. A little bit of configuration for that throttle. The rest all works really well. The plan now is to have a full long-term review in the next couple of weeks for you all. In the meantime, if you have any questions, I'm allowed to talk about whatever I want about these pedals. The embargo date lifts today. That's why all these videos are coming out at the same time. Mine is focused just on the driving, the joy of having them, stuff like that. It's not as much a review in the traditional sense like my other reviews are, but that review is coming. There are some reviewers that I highly recommend that you go and check out. especially Will Ford in Boosted Media, who I guess has a longer relationship, and his review is going to be the longest term review of all of them. So that's going to be fun to see as well. I can't wait to watch that one. I hope that you've enjoyed this style of review. This is a little bit different. This is a mini review. I didn't want to bore you with all the details of all the videos that you've probably already seen. This is very much aimed at the people who are very likely to buy these pedals, and just to give you that confidence that, you know, I've had great fun with them. I am having great fun with them on my rig. I'd be super happy if I just owned them forever and never had to put a different set of pedals on there. The installation, all that was fine. Software is nice. That little LED strip is really, really cool. Yeah, they're just very, very cool. They look very at home on a rig. They're not the best looking set of pedals that I've ever seen, but they are very, very good looking. They're beautiful. They're very functional. The heel plate is good. One very important thing that I will definitely say is I've tried these with socks, and although they're doable with socks, they're usable with socks, I would recommend a driving shoe for these. Just from my experience so far, maybe my feet are too sensitive. A lot of other pedals, they are just a little bit more rounded, a little bit more curved, but at the same time, if you do like that feel under your feet, you're going to get incredible feel through these, whether you're using shoes or not using shoes. Personally, for me, without shoes, it just got sore after a little bit of time. Other than that, I have no real negatives. I'm extremely happy with them. So you have 2 weeks left to get these at the special intro price. The 2-pedal set is €699, and the clutch is an extra €299. That brings you to €998 for the full set right now. That's going to jump up by €300 after the 28th of February 2022. So get in there with your pre-orders. I will tell you, hand on heart, I think it's worth it. I really think they're worth it. I think they're worth €999. If you have the money, I think it's a good time to do it. You don't have to worry about, you know, the higher price. I do think that they're probably worth even more of that, especially if you're using it in a prosumer sense, as in if you rely on these and if you trust in that quality, I think that they're going to be worth a lot more to you as a business or somebody who does this at a hardcore level. If you're racing 8 hours a day, I think that this is the type of product that you want, because there's just not a lot that can go wrong with them. Plus, I've a lot of confidence seeing their testing methods and stuff like that. I totally think that they're very, very, very much worth it. So yeah, 28th of February. And that's about it. Oh, and one more thing. So when they hit 500 pre-orders, they're going to give away 5 $100 vouchers. Then when they hit 1,000, they're going to give away 5 $200 vouchers. And then when they hit 1,500, which I'm sure they will, they're giving away a €4,500 liquid cooled, custom built sim racing PC. Awesome. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know it's different to my usual style. There will be the full review in a couple of weeks' time. Please do stick around for that. It's going to be a long-term review. I didn't want to rush a long-term review because who knows what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks when I've spent more time with these. And as you can see in the background, I have other pedal sets that I also need to just finish up reviews on and stuff. That's it for me. Do let me know what you think in the comments below and hit subscribe and all that good stuff. I'm Lawrence. I'll chat to you later.